Good evening, Fort Collins. It's time for another installment of Local Beats, your go-to source for all music news in Fort Collins. Like always, I'm Abby MacPhail.
And I'm your trusted Local Beats producer, David Carlson, filling in tonight for Kira McKinley. Tonight's episode will start out with a look at what Rams are listening to on campus, followed by Abby blessing us all with another segment of Colorado Concerts.
After my segment, we'll take a look at the bluegrass scene in a local Fort Collins bar and then take a stroll down memory lane looking at the history of concerts right here on CSU's campus.
And if all that wasn't enough for you, stick around to the end of the show where I will defend my take that the Beatles, although all-time great musicians, were actually a boy band.
No, they were not.
Let's save it for the breakdown. Anyway, all this and more starting right now on CTV. With finals week right around the corner, students everywhere are breaking laptops, cursing out Canvas, and pulling every last one of their hairs out. For many of us, there's only one way to get through this: listening to some music. In the spirit of this, Abby and I headed over to the LSC to ask students what songs they were listening to so that they could get through finals week. What song is getting you through finals week?
Personally, it would be Nude by Radiohead.
My song that's getting me through finals is The Perfect Girl by Mario, because it's that song that's been super popular on TikTok. It's silly, but it's empowering. It makes me feel focused. I just like it. It's like, it gets my brain all into that, like, you know, into the groove, so I can focus on what I'm doing, because I'm really easily distracted, and that song just takes all the fuzz away.
Honestly, just bumping some Lil Baby, some Baby Keem. Just kind of depends on the mood, but just something to get me hyped, you know?
If you had a song in particular to talk about, what Baby Keem, Little Baby song are you thinking about?
On Me, probably.
I told Brody and them to park the car, but they still wreck. I don't think nobody around still, but I still check.
This year for finals, Goo Goo Muck by the Cramps. Oh, it's a nice one.
You better die when I show up. The Goo Goo Muck.
Rhyme Dust by Dom Dalla.
Dom Dalla, shout out.
Right, if your night is a bust. I give a rhyme on dust.
Close the Door by Weston Estate.
So close the door on your way out. You cross the line.
I've been listening to Loose Change by Brent Faiyaz.
What's that?
Love, what is love? Would you believe it if I told you all about it?
I would say Solo Dolo. Hi, Solo Dolo.
Good choice.
I'm Mr. Solo Dolo. Oh, oh.
I'd say Family Ties by Kendrick Lamar, Baby Keem.
There you go. Yeah, a lot of Baby Keem shout outs today. You're the second guy.
It's pretty fire. I mean,
Two phone something you mean.
Baby Keem, get you through finals, you know.
Two of them guys. I'm OD in Paris, I'm OD in France. I thought that I told you I need the advance.
I was surprised by the amount of just different kinds of music that people go to study. I know when I study, I have to listen to really calm music. So listening to something like Kendrick Lamar or Baby Keem, I was like, there's no way I could do it.
You got to think these students got to get their anger out. There's a little aggression. You got to start throwing some punches, you know. Sometimes, you know, it makes you listen to some unusual stuff. For me, you know, I've been getting into bluegrass music. You know, bluegrass music is something a lot of us don't know much about, but what we do know, however, is solid music and wicked times. And at local bar Avagadro's Number, you will have that provided to you every Wednesday. Welcome to Avagadro's Number, a place where you can find cool instruments, skilled guitar players, and a wide variety of people playing together.
Started coming to the Avogadro's Jam here in Fort Collins like maybe 3 years ago or so. And this is kind of where I learned how to play music, honestly. This is like the culture and the environment that has been inviting enough to let someone who doesn't know a lot about how to pick a banjo and come in and just hang and like really be encouraging to get a grasp on what it is to play music with people.
The weekly Wednesday Fiddle Jam supplies good music, good times, and a sense of togetherness amongst neighbors right here in Fort Collins.
I first came to this jam about 2 years ago when I was first getting into bluegrass and playing guitar and stuff. And just the whole community has been like really welcoming.
I feel like I've made so many like wonderful friends and connections with the community here.
It's like church for us bluegrassians, you know?
This is just a really loose jam. It's really like fun and just a friendly jam. Everyone's playing music and having fun.
This is one of the few communities in Colorado maybe where it's not about, there's no competition, there's no like ill will, there's no, it's not like anyone's really competing with each other. We're just all here to play and you feel it. It's camaraderie and it means something.
Everybody's inviting, like you're more than welcome to come and do this stuff. Nobody's ever gonna tell you no.
Best we got.
Yeah, that place was a lot of fun to visit.
Yeah, I've been to Avogadro's Number before, and they put on a lot of really great music. I know personally with bluegrass, my mom used to make us clean the house to bluegrass, and then on our way to sports games in the morning, we would listen to bluegrass on Saturdays.
How did that help?
I don't know. I don't know what bluegrass did for us, but now it's just something that I really enjoy because I don't know, it's just connected to all those memories. But, well, that's all we have for you right now, Rams. But stay tuned because after the break, we have another installment of my segment, Colorado Concerts.
Worried about your friend but don't know how to reach out?
You could say how are you or get a fake tattoo. You could ask with an app if it works for you. You could chat with them in VR. It's so good. If you think you should check in, yeah, you should.
Whatever gets you talking. Reach out to a friend about their mental health. Whatever gets you talking. Learn how you can help at seizetheawkward.org.
Hello to all the beautiful people who decided not to change the channel, and welcome back to the very last Colorado Concerts of this semester. I will say I am going to miss getting to talk about all the super cool concert news, but this summer is packed with great shows, so don't worry, I will stay busy. One of my favorite ways to see live music is through festivals, because who doesn't love spending the day outdoors listening to super cool artists showcase their talent? One of Colorado's largest music festivals is back, and that is the one and only Country Jam in Grand Junction. I am a huge country music fan, especially when it starts getting warm outside, so I am totally pumped about this lineup. We've got new and familiar faces alike, including Blake Shelton, Jason Aldean, Whiskey Myers, and Tracy Byrd. But Abby, what if I don't like country? First of all, that's weird, and second of all, you have other options. Next up is the Telluride Bluegrass Festival, which is taking place in such a scenic area of Colorado. I know, all of Colorado is scenic. That isn't the point. The point is that you can enjoy artists like Gregory Alan Isakoff, Sierra Farrell, and the String Cheese Incident, all while looking at beautiful Telluride. And even if bluegrass isn't your jam, maybe jazz is. And in that case, Telluride also hosts a fantastic jazz festival over the summer that is sure to make for a great time. They've got Butcher Brown, Deep Pocket, Jamison Ross, and many more coming in to perform. So if you like jazz, you might want to check it out. Sometimes though, it's better to just be one and done, and that's when standard concerts come in handy. Lucky for all of you out there, Colorado is hosting some really fantastic artists this summer, and I know I'm excited to go broke trying to fit as many shows into my schedule as possible. Paramore is crashing Ball Arena on July 13th, and it is going to make my middle school heart so happy. Ain't it fun to relive all those old memories? But if you can't settle on just one era of your music to jam out to though, you are not alone. The next day, on July 14th, the Queen of Pop, Taylor Swift, will be in the Mile High City at Empower Field. If you weren't able to fend off Ticketmaster for those front row seats, it will be okay. Trust me, I know the feeling all too well. Taylor's version, of course. Finally, if pop just doesn't do it for you, then I have one last artist that might pique your interest. Ghost will be at Fiddler's Green Amphitheater on August 8th, and I can't really think of a joke for their song Mary on a Cross, so I'm going to just have to end it at that. Sadly enough, this brings us to the end of my very last Colorado concerts for this semester, but don't freak out just yet. You can still see David and I's wonderful faces after the break, so don't you dare leave. We'll be right back.
Multiple studies have shown that marijuana can slow both driver reaction and response time, which can be really dangerous. He's here. He's here. Wait. What? I can't drive. Why? My. Oh.
We hope you all enjoyed the break and are excited to have you back here on Local Beats. Now, we're going to take a look at concert history at CSU.
That's right, David. Dayglow was just on campus, and he gave us all a spectacular show. Performing hit songs like Hot Rod and Then It All Goes Away, Dayglow gave us a special night of Moby madness. And that got us here at Local Beats thinking, who else has played on CSU's campus? Well, let's find out. Last week, Dayglow took over Moby Arena for the annual Ramfest performance put on by Ram Events at CSU. I love Dayglow, so I was stoked to see someone so famous perform on campus. But it did get me wondering, what other famous artists have graced CSU with their presence? And to be honest with you, that answer is a lot. To get through this complete anthology of the coolest shows CSU has put on, I'm going to start with a place that people might be pretty familiar with, and that is Moby Arena. Johnny Cash and June Carter Cash paid a visit to Moby in the spring of 1968. And in 1969, the Rolling Stones performed at Moby to kick off their tour with B.B. King. Now, this concert was one for the ages, especially since the Rolling Stones and their fans did over $5,000 worth of damage to Moby Arena. By the way, in today's money, that is about $40,000. There were 193 cigarette burns on the wood floors, damaged glass on entrance doors, broken paper towel dispensers, and a lot more that the invoice that the university sent to the Rolling Stones had accounted for. Even though they called Fort Collins Fort What, they returned 7 years later to perform again. But in the meantime, Fleetwood Mac paid a visit to the Laurie Student Center Ballroom in 1972, and tickets only cost $3.50 for students. The Silver Spruce Yearbook described it as, quote, a technical disaster, but a musical success. That same year, Sweet Caroline singer Neil Diamond performed at Moby Arena. Muddy Waters also performed at CSU in 1974, but there is unfortunately not a lot of information about where that took place. In 1975, the Beach Boys, Chicago, and 37,000 fans could be found at Hughes Stadium. And this was the very first major concert put on at this venue. Less than 1 month later, the Charlie Daniels Band had performed there, opening for the one and only Rolling Stones. This one was also a nice break for the Moby Arena floor, and it was made even better because Elton John appeared wearing his signature bedazzled Dodgers uniform. Later, in 1976, Bob Dylan and Joan Baez could be found at Hughes alongside Frank Zappa, Willie Nelson, the Doobie Brothers, and even Van Halen. But the weather did not make this easy. In fact, it was the torrential downpours covering Fort Collins that inspired the name Hard Rain for the documentary, which actually covers the event. Because of the damaged turf from fans and CSU PD limiting concert noise to 80 decibels, which is about as loud as a vacuum cleaner, this was unfortunately the last show to take place at Hughes Stadium. However, the show must go on for Colorado State. 4 years later, in 1980, Van Halen returned to Ram Country and performed for their Party Till You Die tour that rocked Moby Arena. In 1987, the Red Hot Chili Peppers took over Laurie Student Center and put on a show to remember. This was during the very last of CSU's college days, which was basically just 3 days of alcohol-fueled madness and riot. Jumping forward in time, the Fray performed at Moby in 2006, B.O.B. and Ludacris took residence there for a night in 2011, and 2 years later, thrift shop legend Macklemore performed for Ramfest in 2013. There, he sold out the intramural fields, which hold roughly 10,000 people. Finally, in 2017, Jhené Aiko came to visit Moby for Ramfest, and that was the last big concert that we had before Dayglow. Now, I know that is a lot of information, but it really does go to show how huge music is for CSU. And I am so excited to see who they bring in next. More so, as I was trolling the internet for information, a lot of times these shows were people's favorite memories at CSU. So with that being said, if anyone from Ram events is watching this, I love the 1975. Like, love the 1975. So just in case you're looking for next year's performers, hopefully that gives you an idea. I had so much fun putting that video together. I think the biggest help was actually the CSU Facebook, because they posted a picture for Moby Arena celebrating, I think, 50 years, and they asked people what their favorite memories there were, and it was just concert after concert after concert. And it was so helpful to have people who were there saying, like, yeah, this concert was out of control, this was crazy, this was so much fun. I think it really does like connect you to past students and, you know, bring us all together a little bit.
Well, I was surprised how many concerts there were. Bob Dylan, Fleetwood Mac, Rolling Stones, like those are some A+ names of all time. And the Dayglow concert was great, but those are like rock legends.
Yeah, to have them here is just
I would have never
crazy.
thought it. It's insane. But yeah, with that, it's time to head to commercial, but don't get out of your seats just yet. After this, we'll take a look at the story of a young, up-and-coming hip-hop artist based locally right here in Fort Collins. Stay tuned. Welcome back from the break, Rams. Up next, we're going to be bringing you this incredible story of a young woman who has overcome incredible adversity through her passion for faith and music.
My name's Brooklyn Faith Brewington, and I am a hip-hop artist in Fort Collins. Well, Christian hip-hop artist, I would say. When it comes to making music, producing stuff, like every single point when it comes to the music is real, it's raw.
Brooklyn cares about authenticity and honesty, but where do these attributes come from? She attributes a lot of these qualities to the relationship she had with her father growing up.
Like it would feel like he would be in the room but not present, and so that definitely, like I felt like if I wasn't holding a ball or like playing a sport, I didn't get the attention from him that I wanted. So I felt like growing up that if I didn't hold a volleyball in my hand or wasn't holding a ball, that I wouldn't get the validation that I needed or that I wanted. So it definitely, I feel like growing up cultivated like false validation, because I was searching it in some, you know, parent that I wasn't getting it from.
But when one man couldn't answer the bill, another one was provided.
I would introduce Jesse as, he would call me like daughter, like every time I see him. It would just be one of those powerful talks, like he'd always just want to get to know like how you're doing. He just really cared. He had like a special heart, and I didn't have that in a father figure, so that's why I definitely like seek that for sure, and I saw that in him, and I was like, yes, like that's awesome, like he cares. So we were super close, and he passed away. He was one of the real ones. He's in heaven right now for sure.
After the significant amount of loss, Brooklyn turned to faith and writing in an effort to find solace.
Yeah, I was just writing about anything that was happening in my life and anything like that I was feeling. It was like definitely like an outlet for me. Even like the line is here, like the EP, it was just me rapping because I had so much to say. Like I had so much on my heart that I need to get this out or I'm gonna stay stuck forever. That's why, you know, my motto is RTM, Redeeming Truth Ministries. It was records, but I think ministry is more important now. And just putting truth in everything and just knowing that that's where it stands.
Brooklyn says her outlets have provided her with comfort and therapy during her difficult times.
Super powerful, just like hearing yourself like talk about how you're feeling. You know, it's different to one journal about or write a song about how you're feeling and like how you're doing or what you went through. And then it's another to like play it back on an actual song. And so when I wrote like part of The Line Is Here, I like thought about that and how like this is my therapy session, like this is what I'm going through. And you know, like I said before, like I don't want to stay stuck, so I gotta put it all out.
It's no secret that Brooklyn has been through a lot, but she wears it all on her sleeve, claiming that she wouldn't be the same without it.
It's made me stronger, and it's pretty cool how trials and tribulations can just make you grow as a person. So I was able to learn from it, to grow from it, and be able to understand that true love comes from God, true love comes from Him. It's a hard thing to go through when it comes to loss, but when you look back, there's always, like I always say, it's one of my lyrics that I'm writing, there's always beauty in the rainstorm. So there's always something good that always comes out of it, whether it's spiritual maturity, whether it's growth, there's always beauty in the pain and in the struggle. Shout out to J. Cole. Shout out to J. Cole.
What an amazing story, David. And well, that's all we have for you right now. But stick around because after the break, David and I will be giving you our favorite tracks from the last month. Stay tuned.
Dear moms and dads, we know it's not always been easy, and it's been a lot of hard work. What you have achieved here today is going to help us and our futures. It is why we are coming up on stage to collect your diplomas. Everything I do it for you. Mom, love you always. No, it's true. Everything I do it for you.
When you graduate, they graduate. Visit finishyourdiploma.org to find free and supportive adult education centers near you.
Bopping some tunes? Looking for more tunes to bop? Well, look no further. Abby and I have the boppiest tunes around, and we're ready to tell you what new songs we're bopping this month. Ready to get bopping, Abby?
Bop we shall, David. Bop we shall.
My first song recommendation is If I Were a Fish by Koruk.
If I was scrolling through and I saw me flopping around and singing my song, I'd say damn, they're cute and sing along.
Very little catchy ditty. Girl's got a kazoo. I vibe with it.
I keep hearing it on TikTok, and I really like it for my little TikTok videos. It's so fun. It's so cute. This one came out the day after our last show, so I was so excited about this one. This is Meeting the Master by Greta Van Fleet.
Take my trip around the sun.
I love Greta Van Fleet. I love them so much. I was so excited. This is off their new album, Starcatcher, that hasn't come out yet, but they're touring and they're coming to Denver, and I am probably willing to drop any amount of money to get into that arena.
That's fair. I haven't listened to much Greta Van Fleet, but
Oh, I
Higher
have.
Love and the other songs that I have, all phenomenal. Leonard Skinner-esque, in my opinion.
Interesting.
It's fun to listen to, but either way, my next round recommendation is Dummy by Portugal the Man.
Everybody get on the dance floor. 5, 6, 7, 8. It's 4 a.m. and I'm wide awake.
I like that song. I like the music video. I think it's a dog. I'm not really sure, but he's having a good time, and I like people that are having a good time.
Yeah, I mean, why not?
Why not?
My next one is going to be Moonshine by Hippocampus. This one I think is going to be so great for summer. I'm really excited to have this on my playlist and just be driving around with the windows down with my friends and having that song play. I mean, it's good vibes all around.
They were just at Red Rocks, right? Hippocampus?
Yes, they were at Red Rocks, I think, last night. Yes.
Must have been a good concert, but
Oh, yes.
yeah, I would imagine. My next recommendation is going to be Sorry Not Sorry by Tyler, the Creator.
Since I'm sorry I'm the kid. Sorry we ain't close as we should have been. Sorry to my old friends. Stories we could have wrote if our egos didn't take the pen.
Tyler, the Creator, always a vibe. See You Again, Ain't Got Time. There's always just tracks he's going to give you that you're going to enjoy.
Yeah, I listened to a lot of Tyler, the Creator in high school, so I'm so glad that I can listen to his music now and still enjoy it because it's really developed along with, you know, how I've grown up. His music has almost grown up with me, and it's really cool and it's really fun. This one is from a local artist who is making pretty big waves, to be honest with you, and this is On My Mind by Costanza. The song is not to be confused with I Don't Mind, but it's very different in the way that it sounds. It's really good. I think his music that he makes is very, you know, it's just chill, it's vibes, it's good, and yeah, I really enjoy it. I really enjoy his music.
No, it seemed that way. I know they were on local beats earlier, a few semesters ago it appeared to be, but seemed to have some good music.
Yeah, Costanza is just really good, and it's cool to see someone, you know, from Fort Collins making it kind of big out there, so it's really cool. And with that, all of our favorite music is out of the way, and it's time for David and I to debate music topics and hopefully come to some sort of consensus. This is the breakdown.
All right, so would you like to go first, or would I like to go first? Because this month's question is, are the Beatles a boy band?
No. No, that is such a crazy thing to say. I think that if you wanted to look at the Beatles in the early 60s and you were looking at all the songs about girls and all the bubblegum pop that they made, that was what people listened to. That was pop, and I guess maybe at that specific point in time, you could call them a boy band. But if you were to look at their whole discography, if you were to look at them as they've traveled across their musical journey, I cannot in good faith say that the Beatles are a boy band.
I think the first thing we have to do here is define what a boy band is, right? So I start looking at like NSYNC, I start looking at One Direction. It's a group of boys that are singing about some girls. And when I think about that, I look at the Beatles. We got I Wanna Hold Your Hand, we got She Came Through the Bathroom Window, we got Ticket to Ride, 8 Days, and that's just off the top of my head.
Yeah.
There's a plethora of songs where they're like, you see that girl? She's cute, and I'm gonna sing about it. And to me, that's what makes a boy band.
But if we called every band that sang about girls a boy band, the Rolling Stones would be a boy band, Led Zeppelin would be a boy band, and that's crazy.
I do agree there's a plethora that do, but I'm not sure with you on this one. We'll have to argue a little bit more later. But, well, Rams, it looks like that's all we've got for you tonight. It was a pleasure filling in for you all tonight. Thank you so much for welcoming me to the move-in to the desk. Abby, for now, I'm David Carlson.
And I am your host, Abby MacPhail. Thank you so much for all all for such an amazing semester of Local Beats. I wanted to say a huge thank you to all the wonderful people here at CTV that make this show happen. Naomi Hilmer, my director, Kira McKinley, my co-host, Kenny and Casey, and many, many others put so much love into Local Beats. And to all the seniors that are graduating, I love you all so much. And I know you are all going to do such amazing things, and I'm so excited to see where you go. Just like last semester, it has been an absolute honor to be able to highlight all the special things that are about the awesome music scene in Fort Collins. So thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to do so and letting me tell all of your super interesting stories. From the history of concerts at CSU, to recorders, to even, yes, doing some cooking. I had a blast, and we hope you had an amazing night, and we'll see you super soon.